separate the real from the fake. See, we got to get back to love. If we get back to love, then that's when we're going to get back to us. It seems like it's never enough. And what do you say when you're... Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of People Empowerment, where we would strive to change the conditions in our community. Today we have a very, very special guest. I'm really excited about today's show. I know it's only a half an hour, but I'm trying to put 3 hours worth of information into this half an hour. Today we have Mr. Antione Thompson. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Antione Thompson. Great to have you here.
Great to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Mr. Thompson in a moment, but first, let me just say to you, People Empowerment, what we strive to do here is we try to empower the people by giving them information that they can use. We get the information, we disseminate it to the people, and then the people can apply it to try to improve their conditions. That's why today's show is so important, because we got some serious stuff to tell you today about improving the conditions in our community. So I know a lot of people out there are familiar with Mr. Antione Thompson. He's been around in the community as an activist for a long time. I just want to talk about you for a minute before I let you talk about yourself. So if you don't mind, I just want to run down a brief history of Mr. Thompson. Back in the days, years ago, he was the executive director of Urban Initiatives, which was, sir?
It was an organization that dealt with minority and women business development. We actually helped a number of women-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses get government contracts. We help with small business lending. We help people get state and county certified. We would have workshops and seminars, and we also mentor various businesses, a couple hundred every year.
Wow.
And I did that for 3 years. I grew the staff and had a lot of interns and full-time staff, and I did that at UB under the Center for Urban Studies under the leadership of Dr. Henry Taylor.
And so that kind of correlates with your job that you got right now, doesn't
100%.
it? Wow, okay, all right. Then, continuing on, Mr. Thompson is also our former Common Council member from the Maston District, is correct?
Yes, I was council member for 5 years.
Okay, also you are the former New York State Senator of the 63rd District, is that correct?
Yes, I was state senator for 4 years.
Awesome. And to my understanding, you did some awesome jobs in both of those positions, kept moving on. So even after you ultimately lost the election for Senate, I see that you didn't give up and you didn't fade into obscurity somewhere, but you kept it on. You kept moving. And you developed this magazine, as a matter of fact, here. So are you the owner of this magazine?
Yes, I co-own BlackWesternNewYork.com with a partner of mine, Will Jones. It was my idea and concept to first start as an internet-based publication, and then I recommended that we go to a monthly print publication. And so the idea, I brought the partners to the table, came up with the idea, and we all helped make it, work through it and pursue it and fine-tune it, and it's growing, and it's rapidly growing very fast.
I see that. Now, how long has it actually been employed? Have you been?
We started in 2010 online, and we kind of found our way. Then after the 2010 elections, I reassembled everyone and said, let's kind of take this to the next level. So in March of 2011, we formally launched it, and then we in August of 2011, we released our first print edition. And so we've been doing monthly print since August of 2011, and we're online every day too. So it's an exciting thing. We really focus on everything positive about African Americans in Western New York.
That's awesome. I see on the front of this edition you have Mayor Brown here, but you also have a beautiful young lady, Holly Berry. Did you take that picture?
No. My partner He did not take the picture, but there are different resources on how you get pictures. So he takes care of the graphic stuff. I'll recommend certain things, but actually some pictures I do take. I'm not an experienced photographer, but I'm not a professional one, but I take a lot of pictures that are actually in the magazine. He fine tunes and make it look pretty and all that. Okay. I'll send him like 10 of them, and he'll figure out which one he wants, and he'll make it, do his photo editing to make it look nice and all that good stuff. So we work as a team. When there are high-powered photographs, like for the front cover or certain major feature stories, he'll take them unless the person sends a professional photo that's already done. And if he doesn't like it, he'll say, I don't like that photo. I need to tell him I need to take another one. But a lot of photos, I'll take them, and then he'll make them look pretty.
So you really wear a lot of different hats.
Yeah, it's a small business. That's what happens in a small business.
And also, you're also a licensed real estate agent.
Yes,
Isn't
I do.
Correct?
I have about 20 houses on the market and properties on the market right now, so I do that as well.
Awesome. You are.
So I'm always about serving people.
Yeah, you are a busy gentleman. You are the people's advocate.
I am. I try to be.
I just want the people to know, Antoine and I have collaborated a lot of times on a lot of different things over the years. Many times, different times I came to him with ideas when he was councilman and when he was senator, trying to help do things for the people, improve our communities. He always was open-eared, open-minded, and actually took me to a few places to let the people know my plans. And here, remember going around and we had to Save the City plan. I had the Self-Made Millionaires plan,
I remember
where it was about us becoming millionaires and doing it ourselves, and I shared the information with Mr. Thompson, and he was feeling it, and we went other places to let it go, but the other people weren't quite feeling it. Yeah. The number one issue was, well, who's going to hold the money? People always worried about who's gonna hold the money. Always. You know what I mean? We need to get beyond that and just start believing in each other. Right. With no further ado now, so I moved on about Mr. Thompson's history. So now I want to talk about his job right now, Antione Thompson, as the executive director of the Buffalo Employment and Training Center, which is located at 77 Goodale.
Yes, sir.
Phone number is 856-JOBS. And Mr. Thompson, first of all, congratulations on the appointment by the mayor. I saw that on the television. I was like, whoa, do they know what they're doing? Whoa, they know who they putting in there? This man gonna make something happen.
Yes,
now,
sir.
So I'm really excited now because, it's my dream and my passion for jobs in the urban community. To see my people employed, you know what I mean? It's my passion, it's what I live for, I strive for, and obviously you do too. So tell us about it.
Yeah, let me just say this. I am, it was a very difficult decision to do. I've been in private business for a couple of years. I always wanted to own businesses, and so I'm going to continue to do that. But also I've been, independently elected for quite a while now. And, but the mayor asked me to consider this position, and I had a couple other job offers, lobbying in Albany, etc. But when I was asked about this and another opportunity, there were two opportunities I had local outside of being in Albany part of the week, was what really interested me. Last year I wrote a couple articles about employment. That has been a passion of mine since I was in college. I used to recruit for SUNY Brockport. I've sat on search teams in college. I've sat on search teams since college for different professionals and et cetera. I've been involved with job fairs since college. I've been involved with job fairs when I was on the city council staff, when I was a council member and beyond, from the tops on Jefferson to shutting down job sites when they didn't hire minorities. So I have been a relentless job advocate for 2 decades. Okay, and I've sponsored legislation to help people get jobs. I sat on the Empire Zone Committee for the Common Council. I chaired the Civil Service Committee for the Common Council. I sat on the Erie County Workforce Investment Board, the Economic Development Committee and Small Business Committee in the State Senate, on and on and on. So when I got this opportunity, in fact, as I said, last year, I wrote a couple articles in our magazine related to jobs, because I feel that there's a saying in the community that nothing beats a bullet like a job. So the mayor said, hey, I know that if you get your hands into this, you're going to shake it up. And I don't really take on a lot of causes, and if I do, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's been some chatter about, well, what's he going to do? Is he ready for this? Can he handle that? Is he qualified for that? When you're in public life, regardless if you like the person or not, one of the things that most elected officials are asked, black, white, Latino, or Asian, or otherwise, people often say, can you help me get a job? Can you refer me for a job? Can you help me keep my job? Can you give me a recommendation for school?
Well,
can you tell me about a training? So it's a natural fit,
mm-hmm.
and given someone who's been, particularly the last couple of years, who really been out listening to people. Mm-hmm. I own a media business, so people are telling me daily about issues. Mm-hmm. And so when I was asked to consider this opportunity to help people get employment, knowing the vast number of private sector employers, small business owners, institutional leaders from here to California,
yes.
I saw this as a way to say, you know what? At this present time, this is a way to really, really put people to work.
Yes.
I'm all about putting people to work.
Yes.
So if I can pick up the phone and say, this is Antione Thompson, former Senator Antione Thompson, Executive Director of Employment and Training Center. I got a person, I know you, can you do something for them? Can you give them an interview? Mm-hmm. Can you give them a second chance? Who better to do that at this point in time than myself?
So once again, voice of the people.
Yeah,
once
so
again, you become the voice of the
there are a
people.
lot of doors that I can open for our clients. It's just that simple. There's only so many doors that there.
When you say clients, who are you talking about?
Well, when our clients, we have anyone can walk through our doors and say that they need help. They need to go through a quick orientation. Mm-hmm. We figure out what their skills are. Mm-hmm. Some people need to get some additional training. Some people don't. And there are things that we can do. Now, we get affirmation every day, all day about different job opportunities.
Really?
All day, every day. And I tell people, if you're looking for a job, it's a full-time job. And so I encourage people to spend 40 hours a week looking for a job.
Wow.
If you're looking for a job and you're only spending 5 hours a week, then you're looking for a part-time job.
It's important.
So if you're looking for a full-time job, you need to be working 40 to 60 hours a week looking for a job. Mm-hmm. On the internet, filling out applications, talking to your family and friends, letting them know that you're looking, because looking for a job should not be a secret.
That's
so
right.
Whether
That's
you're
right.
on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or whatever social media, your church, your different associations, your blog club, community groups, people should know that you are hungry for a job. And sometimes if individuals have been looking for a job for a year or 2 years, they get discouraged, so they don't look as much. And your family or friends, then they say, well, they're looking, but they're not really looking. Mm-hmm. Or they think you're okay. Mm-hmm. You're not as aggressive.
Because you're not pressing it.
You're not pressing it. Mm-hmm. So I encourage people to come on down, and you come down regularly, because you may come down 3 days, but you know what? The day you don't come, be the day that they got a bus driver job and you've been wanting to be a bus driver. In the last 20 interviews you went on, you were too late. But you never know. So that information, and then you got to have a counselor. So a lot of times people may come utilize our services, but then they may never get to the point where they get a counselor who can then have that one-on-one relationship. Because looking for a job is also about relationships too.
Wait a minute. First you come in to the place. You sign up, you take a little test, see
a little
what you
orientation.
know. Little orientation.
They tell you about the services we have to offer.
Okay, and then how do you come about to the counselor?
You ask for a counselor, or they'll give you a counselor. Mm-hmm. And that is a person that will work with you.
With you specifically?
Well, sometime I will see people, but generally they go to a counselor. And we are trying to get more placement counselors on staff as well that can work with individuals, people that have that experience doing case management and placement, because a lot of organizations train individuals but there are not enough people that are actually working with employers to place clients. And so what I am most interested in right now is bringing people in. A lot of folks may need some soft skills training, how to do an interview, make sure your resume tight, don't go in there say anything crazy, and then make sure they get on the job and be a good worker. So we need people that can do the soft skills. We have some of that. But the most important thing is getting people placed. And placement, in my humble opinion, is an extreme priority for our office.
So you're in constant daily contact with employers looking for people that want jobs.
Like right now,
you hear that, Buffalo?
People are calling from everything from highly skilled jobs to low skilled. I mean, Time Warner is hiring.
Wow.
General Motors is hiring.
Wow.
American Brass is hiring.
What?
They're looking for bus aides all the way down the street here on Jefferson. Smart Ride's looking for van drivers. So there are all different types of jobs. We just have to get that information to the right folks and right individuals. But also people need to, they also need to brush up on their skills. And then sometime you may have to take a job you don't want till you get to the job you do want.
Well, let me say this to you. Now, public access is a great forum to bring out these issues and discuss them. But what about the people that don't have cable, that don't have public access availability? Have you considered, are you going to in the future do anything like with commercials perhaps? And
we are looking at a number of outreach strategies, and in that may include some public service announcements. We have to kind of flush that out, but we don't have a marketing budget, but we may be able to get some in-kind things. So we're going to look at organizations and companies that will help us with in-kind donations.
Okay. Yeah, because
meaning they'll donate some space on some bus stations, billboards, maybe some of the mainstream TV networks can allow us to come on there a couple times a month, or maybe run a public service announcement about
public service announcement.
Yeah, so we haven't gotten there yet, but that is something that's on the table right now to see how we can figure out how we do that for people, because people need information. People suffer from the lack of information.
Absolutely, from the lack of knowledge, because it is a fact that you informed me before we started shooting today that the BETC Center has been there for 12 years. Well, who knew?
Yeah, it has been there for 12 years, every day, over 30 employees, and we need to figure out how we get more people coming through the doors of Buffalo Employment and Training Center, considering that Buffalo, it has a high level of poverty. Over 1 out of 4 people in Buffalo live in poverty. And that didn't start when I got here. My job is to figure out, how do I work with the council, the mayor, and other stakeholders to reduce those numbers and get people in Buffalo working? And so if people don't know about our services, then how can they access them?
Exactly.
Secondly, how do we improve our services, partner with other agencies, partner with the private sector, the faith sector, the community sector, and nonprofit sectors, so that we can get more people working? At the end of the day, it's about training people and placing people.
That's it.
We want to train them, place them, enhance their skills, etc.
So right now, you have a multitude of job opportunities that are available for people.
Yes.
And you're looking for the people to come in so we can try to fill them, put them in those jobs, right?
Yes.
Now let me ask you.
And their jobs, there are jobs, like, for example, a young lady sent me a message on Facebook. You can't be my friend on Facebook, but you can subscribe to me on Facebook. So you can always subscribe, and you can always send me a message on Facebook, or just send it to me at AntoineThompson@yahoo.com. But a young lady said her CNA license expired. I told her who to contact in our office, and I'm sure she'll be fine.
Awesome. Well, you know what? I'm glad that you brought up the internet again, because I always got to remember to remind people to go to the website, People Empowerment. www.apollomediacenter.com. You can see this show. You can see other shows from the past. The stuff is very informative. The website's only been there for a couple of months now. I've gotten hundreds and hundreds of hits. I'm really I'm overwhelmed with that, how interested people are in finding out what's going on. So it's very important, like Mr. Thompson says, to take this invitation to get you a job. If you need a job out there, here's the man. This is the job czar. This is almost like Santa Claus here for Christmas. What do you say, Santa?
Well, what I say to people is that we have a tremendous staff at the Buffalo Employment and Training Center. I'm going to do everything I can to push them to do even more, bring in more support services. But if you're looking for a job, come on down. And you have to come. It's not a one-shot deal. It's not like you walk in the door day one. Some people get lucky though. Mm-hmm. I mean, and we every day when someone's in and they get a job, we ring the bell and stuff like that, and everyone knows, oh, somebody got a job. But you must come down on a regular basis, and it's a rewarding feeling.
I bet.
I mean, because we're either getting them training or we're getting them a job. And as I said earlier, my number one priority is to get as many people a job as possible.
That's awesome.
And there's a lot of development going on in Buffalo.
Yes.
Every year we're paving streets, we're fixing sidewalks.
We're constructing stuff.
They're constructing things. I want to work with the city, the county, the state, and federal governments to make sure that our office is part of the pre-construction process, to make sure that those employers that receive contracts, that they know that if they need to reach out to people, that we can help with that.
That's awesome.
We have a breakfast club, so we bring in employers, and we can bring in employers any day of the week, preferably Monday through Friday, and we could let our clients know that meet those requirements, and they can come in and apply directly to those employers.
So you got the employers, you got the possible
and all the employers have to do is
right
we'll get them 20, 30, 50, 100 people before them, and then all they have to do is show up.
Awesome.
So we want to make it easy. I mean, we have the staff. We have other agencies we can bring to the table as well.
Wow.
So there are a lot of different things that we can do. I want to make sure, under leadership of the mayor, that Buffalo Employment Training Center is a household name in the city of Buffalo. That when people from all across the country think of employment and they think of Buffalo, they think of 77 Goodell.
That's hot. I like that.
And that's what we want.
Powerful.
When
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
When people are thinking about development in Buffalo and they say, we have this big development project, we got to find workers, we want them, the first thing they do is, you know what? We need to call Buffalo Employment Training Center.
That's right.
We know that they can get us a secretary, a janitor, an engineer, an architect, a scientist,
a laborer.
And we also want Buffalo Employment Training Center to be the place of choice, not just a place of last resort.
Yes,
so when people are down and out, we want them to feel that they can come. If they are already working and they say, I want to get a better job, they don't feel that, oh, I got the internet, so I can do that at home. We want them to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to go on my lunch break, or I'm going to take a half a day, and I'm going to go down to BTC and see what jobs they have, or I can talk to a counselor. So it's a place of choice, not just a place of last resort.
Listen, I'm actually absolutely excited about this. Time is flying. I wanted to touch on something we talked about before we started, and we talked about targeting the young men from the urban street corners. And what it is, when me and Mr. Thompson were sitting here talking, and I asked him about that, what he said to me, he said to me that at least 2 days a week that he plans to, if possible, go right to the street corners himself and be a part of going right out to the people, the young kids, the young men on the corners, and telling them the opportunities that are available to them. And to me, that's absolutely incredible. That is powerful.
Yes. One of the things that I intend to do starting this week is at least 2 days a week, maybe a couple hours a day, just going out to different communities across Buffalo, east side, west side, north side, south side, and all points in between, bus stations, train stations, and talking with people about the services that we have. Part of the challenge that we have in Buffalo is there is a belief that nothing can be done. And I know firsthand. I remember when I lived at 34 Pansy Place, and at the corner of East Delavan and Oak Grove and East Delavan and Pansy, guys would be out there all the time. And I would just go out there and talk to the guys and say, you need to get your GED. To me, GED means it's a great employment decision.
I heard that.
So if we go to the streets and say, hey, you know what? Do you have your GED? Why not? You can go online. You can take it during the day. You can go to this training program. You go to that training program. If you don't want to, you want to be an entrepreneur, we can send you to Buffalo State College. Go write a business plan or whatever it may be. But we have to go to the streets if we want to help make our neighborhood safer. So I am committed, super committed to aggressive outreach. When I see people,
awesome.
I say call 856-JOBS. If you're not happy with what the staff have to say, call me directly. The staff is there to help you. I will make sure that if they need to push a little harder, if you're not doing what you need to do, I'm going to call you as well. I'm going to start going through cases. I want to call random people randomly that come into our office and see how they're doing. I'm on the floor. I go on the floor twice a day. I talk to people in the morning. I talk to customers that come in and clients that come in the afternoon. I drop in the classes and talk to people, see what they're doing. I walk up to them and say, what type of job are you looking for? How have you looked at this? Have you looked at that? Because people need to be encouraged. And that may be the deciding factor for that person giving up on their job search or working twice as hard to find a job that they're looking for.
Well, you know, that like I say again, that's incredible. That is advocacy in its purest form. You know what I mean? That's when you really put the people before yourself. And like I say again, it's awesome. I think it's an awesome move by the mayor to put you in a position. He picked the right man for the right job. I'm excited about the future. Matter of fact, I plan on walking with you a couple of those blocks when you go out there, a couple of those days to go to the public.
We have a Mayor's Junior Impact team. They go out every afternoon and they clean up different commercial strips. And so what I'm going to start doing is a couple of days a week going out with them. So I'm really excited about it. I also would like to suggest as well that if people have suggestions on what we can do to get more people trained, to get more people placed, or if they know, if you work at a company and you say, I have some jobs, I'd like to get some of your people placed, please give me a call at 856-JOBS. You can look me up on the BTC website, or you can email me directly at AntoineThompson@yahoo.com. Any of those ways are how you can reach me as well.
Now, you know, Antoine, you know, that's absolutely awesome. You know, I know we've only got a minute left on the show. Time flies when you're having fun. This has been absolutely the top of my line, top of my day fun. Like I say, I'm very excited about what you're doing. I believe in you. Like I say, I believe he picked the right person, and I think some things are going to change. So, you know, today, I'm just very blessed, very proud to even be sitting here and to show people empowerment, because I can actually see something about to take effect. I see something about to happen, that people get empowered. And it's going to be through your advocacy, you know what I mean, and through your 40 hours a week pursuit, you know what I mean? Plus, you know what I mean, of power for the people. It is power. So I would say to you, I'm Nate Boyd. This is People Empowerment. And I would just tell you, keep watching, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Amen. Thank you very much. Awesome.